Hello everyone, let us try to understand different types of neuron in today's lesson. We have already studied that neurons are the structural and functional unit of nervous system. Nervous system is that system which help us to understand the changes in our environment, and it also help us to adjust according to the changes. Now these neurons, they have got basic structure that it is having a cyton which is called the cell body or soma. It is having a long cord like structure which is called as the axon, and it is having the dendrites. Now we have also studied the nervous system can be further divided into two parts, that is central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. And central nervous system, it consists of brain and spinal cord, and peripheral nervous system, it consists of nerves. Main function of central nervous system is to understand the stimuluses and form the responses, and main function of peripheral nervous system is that it is helping us in helping the organism body to be connected to the central nervous system. In central nervous system, we have studied two organs, that is brain and spinal cord, and we very well understand that brain is having the most important function of understanding, reasoning, memory, and such kind of functions they are associated with the brain, whereas spinal cord is more related to reflex actions. As far as nerves are concerned, these are those organs which are connecting the peripheral sensory organs to the central nervous system. So we can see that there is variation in the function of central nervous system organs and peripheral nervous system organs, and all are made up of neurons. So those neurons which are present in these organs, they are adapted to perform their function very well. In today's class, we will try to understand that how different types of neuron, though they are having the same basic structure, that is cyton, axon and dendrite, how they are different from each other and how they are adapted to perform different function depending upon the location where they are present. So let us start with the class. As far as types of neurons is concerned, they can be categorized on the basis of structure, on the basis of axon, and on the basis of function. So these are the categories which are formed on these bases. For example, on the basis of structure, they can be unipolar, bipolar or multipolar, and on the basis of axon, they can be myelinated or non-myelinated, and on the basis of function, they can be motor, sensory or interneuron. Let us try to understand these functions and these different characteristics in detail. As well as types of neuron is concerned on the basis of structure, we find that there are three different types of neurons, that is unipolar, bipolar and multipolar. Unipolar neurons are those which are having only one pole, that means only one end where the stimulus or response can be received, that is they are having only one axon. And bipolar are those which are having one axon and one dendrite, because we have already understood that axon and dendrite, they both can form the synapse. So these are the two ends where the information can be communicated to other neurons. And similarly, there can be multipolar. Multipolar means it is having one axon and many dendrites. This also we have understood that maximum number of axon which can be present on a neuron, that is 1. So it is having only one axon and number of dendrites may be many. We know that number of dendrites which can be present on a cell body or a soma, that can be maximum up to 5 to 7. So that means these neurons, they are forming so many different synapses. Another difference is that unipolar neurons, they are sensory in nature. Bipolar are also sensory in nature, whereas multipolar neurons are motor neurons. Let us try to understand the difference between sensory and motor neuron. Sensory neurons are those neurons which are more related to sensory impulses. That means which are related to receiving the stimulus. We have got different sensory organs. These sensory organs, they help us in sensing the changes in the environment. So those neurons which are associated with the function of understanding the changes in the environment or picking up the stimulus regarding change in the environment, they are called as the sensory neurons. whereas motor neurons are those neurons which are attached to the muscles. So, these neurons, they are taking the information to the muscles, and when muscle will contract and relax, they will be causing the movement. Movement is a motor activity. So, these neurons, they are called as the motor neurons. So, unipolar and bipolar both are sensory, and multipolar neurons are motor neurons. Let us look at the different organs where they can be found or where they are present. Unipolar neurons, they are present in receptors. Receptors means those organs which help in receiving the stimulus, or in other words we can say that they are the sensory organs. For example, skin, we can get to know about the changes in environment through our skin, or muscles, or internal organs. So, these organs, they are having the sensory neurons. So, these sensory neurons, they will be helping us in understanding if there is any stimulus regarding change in environment. Bipolar neurons, they are present as interneuron. Interneuron means which are forming the connection between two neurons. For example, they are also found in retina of eye, whereas multipolar, they are found in cerebral cortex, that is a part of brain. There can be certain neurons which may not be having any axon. So, those neurons which are having no axon are called as anaxonic. Anaxonic means they are not having any axon, and such type of neuron, they are found in eye and brain. Now, these are different types of neurons which can be categorized on the basis of number of axon and number of dendrites. Now, if we look at this picture, now we can see that it seems that it is having only one axon. So, it is definitely a unipolar neuron. But if you look at this picture, then you will see that there is one axon which is coming out of the cell body, but it is having two ends. So, it seems to be bipolar, but if you look at soma, then it seems to be unipolar. Such kind of neurons, they are called as the pseudo-unipolar neurons. Pseudo-unipolar neurons, like unipolar neurons, they are sensory neurons. These neurons, they start their life or they originate as bipolar. Bipolar means having one nerve ending and one dendrite, but as they mature, then they start looking like a unipolar neuron. So, these neurons, they are called as the pseudo-unipolar. So, it seems as if they are having one axon which is splitting into two, but we know that axons, they don't have branching, they have branching only in the nerve ending. So, that is why these neurons, they are called as pseudo-unipolar. Now, let us try to understand different types of neuron on the basis of axon. Axon is that part which is arising from the cyton, cylindrical part ending in the nerve ending. On the basis of type of axon, they are of two types, myelinated and non-myelinated. Now, let us try to understand what is this myelin. Now, if you look at the picture which is given here, you can see that this part of the axon, it is covered by certain cells which are called as Schwann cells. Schwann cells are those cells which are associated with the neuron, and they are supportive cells. Supportive cells means which are helping the neuron in performing the functions. These Schwann cells, they produce a lipoprotein and fats which is covering the axon from the outside. So, myelin is basically fat and protein layer which is covering the axon from the outside. That is called as the myelin. So, if the axon is of the type which is having the myelin sheath around it, then it will be called as myelinated. If it is not having that myelin sheath, then it will be called as non-myelinated. We must try to remember that Schwann cells, they are present in both types of axons. These cells are present, but in non-myelinated they are not producing the myelin. Myelin is not produced, so because of that they are called as non-myelinated. Now, even in the myelinated neurons, there are certain gaps where this myelin sheath may not be present. So, these gaps where myelin sheath is not present, that is called as the nodes of Ranvier. They are present in myelinated because non-myelinated they are not having myelin sheath, so there is no question of having nodes of Ranvier here. These nodes of Ranvier, they play important role in conduction of impulse because these are those places where the concentration gradient appears. As in the previous part of the lesson also we have studied that basically nerve impulse is difference in concentration gradient of different ions which are present inside the cell and outside the cell. And if they are covered by the myelin sheath, then these areas they will not be available for exchange of ions. So that is why the way the impulse is conducted through myelinated axon and the way it is conducted through non-myelinated axon, they are different. Rather, we find that in myelinated, the conduction of impulse is much faster as compared to non-myelinated. So, based on this, there is difference in location also. Myelinated nerve fibers, they are found in spinal and cranial nerves. Spinal nerves means those nerves which are arising from the spinal cord. Cranial means which are arising from the brain. Whereas non-myelinated, they are found in autonomous and somatic neural system. Somatic neural system is those nerves which are attached to the muscles, and autonomous means those nerves which are attached to the muscles which are not under the control of organism or which are autonomic in nature. So, those muscles which are working on their own, which are not under the control of the organism, they as well as the muscles which are under the control of the organism, they are attached with non-myelinated neurons. So, this is about the different types of neuron which are on the basis which of the category which is formed on the basis of different types of axons. Now, let us talk about the third type of category. This is on the basis of function. What function a neuron can do? Basically, there are two functions, that is neuron are sensory or they are motor. They are either carrying the sensory impulse or they are carrying the motor impulse. Based on that, these neurons, they are of two types, sensory and motor. Third type of neuron, they are called as interneurons. Let us try to understand what they are. Sensory neurons are those neurons which send nerve impulse from receptor to CNS. Receptor means that organ which is receiving the stimulus. Receptor organ means the sensory organ. So, those organs which are receiving the stimulus, they are called as the receptor organs. And these receptor organs, they are attached to the central nervous system through peripheral nervous system. So, that means connection is from receptor organ to central nervous system through peripheral nervous system, because peripheral nervous system it consists of different nerves. So, these neurons which are taking the nerve impulse from sensory organ to brain or central nervous system, that is spinal cord, they are called as the sensory neurons. Now, another characteristic which is present in their structure is that they lack distinct axon and dendrite. So, their structure is such like that both ends seems to be similar in functions. If you look at this picture which is given at the bottom, here you can see a sensory neuron. This is the neuron which is having two branches, that is it is having a sensory end and it is having a nerve end. So, this end which is present in the sensory organ, that is called as the sensory receptor, and this end which is forming the nerve ending, it will be taking the stimulus from sensory organ, from the receptor organ to the nerve ending, which may be located in other part. Now, the second type of neuron, that is called as the motor neuron. They take impulse from central nervous system to effector organ. What are effector organs? Effector organs are those organs which show the effect or which show the action. Muscles, skin or glands, they are effector organs where the action is shown. So, those neurons which are taking the motor impulse from central nervous system, that means brain and spinal cord, to the effector organ. Effector organ means the organ which has to show the effect, which has to show the action. So, those neurons which are taking the impulse from central nervous system to effector organs, they are called as motor neurons. So, here I think the difference should be clear to you that sensory neurons, they are carrying the sensory impulses from sensory organ to central nervous system, and motor neurons, they are taking the motor impulses from central nervous system to effector organ. If you look at this picture, then here we have shown a motor neuron, and motor neuron is attached to muscle. So, the impulse, it will be going from the neuron to the muscle. The third type of neuron based on function is, that is interneuron. Interneuron are those neurons which are located in central nervous system. Central nervous system, brain and spinal cord. And what is their function? They form the junction, or they form or pass the information between sensory and motor neurons. So, those neurons which are present in between the connection which is formed between sensory and motor neurons, that is called as interneurons. So, in other words, we have studied about three different types of neurons: sensory neurons which are passing on the sensory information, motor neurons which are initiating the muscle or organ or target organ to act, to work, to show action, and interneuron which are forming the connection between sensory neuron and motor neuron. And we have also tried to understand the difference in the location. Sensory neurons, they are originating from the receptor organ. Motor neurons, they are ending into effector organs, and interneurons, they are forming the connection between sensory. As far as neuron is concerned, we all know by now that neuron is that part which is forming the structure and performing all the functions of nervous system. And main function of nervous system is that it helps us to understand the changes which are happening in our environment. As far as structure of the neuron is concerned, neuron is basically having three parts. These three parts are its star-shaped cell body, its long cylindrical shape which is called as the axon, and from the star-shaped cell body there are small projections arising which are called as the dendrites. So, three main parts of neuron are cyton, dendrite and axon, and all these parts, they are performing different functions, and accordingly they are further differentiated. So, in today's class we will try to understand that what are the differences in dendrite and axon. As far as dendrite is concerned, dendrites may be many in number. From one cyton there may be 5 to 7 dendrites arising, whereas axon is 1 per cyton. Only one axon will be arising from one cyton. Dendrites, they are highly branched. As they arise, they have many branches, tree-like branches on them, and they are shorter in length. Whereas axons, they are unbranched, they don't have any branch, and they are long. Their length is more. Another difference is that the dendrites, they arise from the receiving end of the nerve. Receiving end of the nerve means the nerve which is attached to the receptor organ, that organ which is going to receive the stimulus. So, we will find that dendrites, they arise from the receiving end of the nerve. So, there will be towards that end of the nerve which is attached to the receptor organ, whereas axon, they arise from the discharging end of the nerve. Discharging end of the nerve means the part where the stimulus is to be passed on. We know that the information passes in the neuron in one direction only. That means it will be passing from dendrite to cyton, cyton to axon, and axon to nerve ending. So, because of that we can say that axons, they are towards the discharging end of the nerve. Another difference is that in dendrites we find that there are no synaptic knobs. Synaptic knob means knob like structure which are present on the ends, whereas in case of axon we see that such knob like structures are present which are called as the synaptic knobs, and synaptic knobs, they contain synaptic vesicles, and synaptic vesicles, they contain neurotransmitters. So, these synaptic vesicles, they are present in the synaptic knobs which are present only on axon. Such structures are not found on dendrite. Another difference is that in case of dendrite, as we find that in case of soma also there are Nissl granules present. Similarly, dendrites also, they have Nissl granules in them. Nissl granules are those organelles which are containing more of ribosomes and endoplasmic reticulum. So, these are those parts which are mainly associated with the synthesis of neurotransmitters. They are producing the neurotransmitters. So, Nissl granules, they are present in soma as well as in dendrite, but Nissl granules are not present in the axons. Another difference, that is that they conduct impulse toward soma, as we have studied that the flow of information is from dendrite to soma, and axons, they conduct the impulse away from soma. So, that means the information, it will be flowing from dendrite to soma, soma to axon, and axon to nerve ending. So, this means that information or the stimulus, it flows in one direction only in case of nerve impulse. Now,